Hi, I'm Dan Westfall. My company's Client Focused Financial. So today I'm going to talk to you about myths about money, and specifically a question or a topic that people bring up to me from time to time, that if you don't have money, you can't become wealthy. So whenever I hear this from people, my initial thought is bullshit, because really you don't necessarily have to have money initially to become wealthy. It takes time to build wealth. So, and the reason that my first thought is bullshit is because these people are thinking it's like, oh, well, rich people are the only people that have money. No one can become rich, because there's this big divide between, the rich and the poor and the middle class, which, you can argue one way or the other. But what I'm here to talk to you about is how, as an average, everyday middle class person, you can get to the point where you're wealthy. So living where money is not an issue. So, why does this even come up? So generally people think of it as like, well, wealthy is $1 million. If you have $1 million, you're wealthy, and the number may be different for you. So how do people ultimately save up wealth though, or get to being wealthy? So really it's just most times just saving money. So there's three main ways though that people become wealthy. Number one, they inherit it, whether it be from the grandparents or the parents, that is passed down generationally. Two would be they run a successful business, which I'll talk about in a second. But three would be the way that most people end up having to create wealth, which is just saving it and doing it on a consistent basis, where they're saving money every single week. So getting back to the successful business part, this is another little topic. I could create another video about this, but becoming a business owner or an entrepreneur has grown in so much popularity over the last few years, and a lot of it because, the media attention around startup businesses and, the internet really making it easier for entrepreneurs to create businesses, which is awesome. So shows like Shark Tank or The Profit on CNBC are great shows that, kind of highlight what entrepreneurism is about. People like Gary Vaynerchuk out there, Gary V, if you don't follow him, great person to follow, talk about entrepreneurism. But Gary V does a great job of talking about the other side of entrepreneurism. It's not all about, making $1 million, and, not every business is profitable or makes money and is successful. So, know that that's not just the easy route to becoming a millionaire. So for most of you out there, it's going to be having to save your money. So getting back to really the topic is, if you're saving money on a regular basis, that's the best way or most tried way over time that is true tested to make you money long term. So if you were to save $50 a week, throughout 30-year time frame, if you put that away and you were putting that in the stock market, where you're making on average, call it 9%, which the market over a long 30-year stretch of time makes roughly 9-10%. So if you're putting that away in that type of investment, you're going to end up with about $360,000 over that time frame if you're just saving $50 a week. So now if you're maxing out, say, like a Roth IRA, where you can put now for 2019 up to $6,000 a year in there, if you did that for the next 30 years, you have about $800,000. So if you were to do that for the next 35 years at that same 9%, putting $6,000 away every year, you would have about $1.3 million. So, and that's $6,000 a year, which I know is not a small nut for most middle-class families out there, or middle-class people out there, but that's a lot easier than hitting the lottery or coming up with some, great investment idea to start a business like, Scrub Daddy sponges, or I'm staring at my phone right now with a pop socket on the back. Unless you have an idea like that where you're going to create a business, it would probably be, behoove you to just start saving money. And even if you're trying to start a business, you should save some money beforehand so you can start that business if you have that great idea. So, an example I use from time to time is Warren Buffett, who, is now worth $84 billion. He's 88 years old. So Warren Buffett is looked at is revered as one of the best investors in the last 100 years. So Warren Buffett started out though with just a few $1,000s. So at 15, he was worth about a reported $6,000. By age 21, he was worth roughly about $20,000, which granted this was 60 years ago, which $20,000 was a lot more then. But by age 30, he was worth $1 million. By age 59, he broke through the $1 billion mark. And now, fast forward another 30 years later, he's worth $84 billion. So, that's the power of compounding and time. So not all of you have time, and a lot of you may be saving for retirement or saving for more short-term goals, which, if you're saving for retirement and you're 35, 40, or even, 45 or 50, you still have you still have time on your side. If you're 50 years old and you're planning on retiring at 60 or 65, you still have 10, 15 years left to allow compounding to work for you, where a little bit of savings on a regular weekly basis into an investment that actually makes money. Your savings account is not an investment. Don't look at it that way. An investment like in your 401k, in mutual funds or ETFs or stocks, whatever the investment may be, if you're investing that on a regular basis consistently over time, you're going to end up making a lot more money than either not saving it or just putting it in the bank. So I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. For more videos like this, check out the Insights tab on my website. The link for it is right above, clientfocusedfin.com. If you'd like to take the investor assessment on there as well, that'll give you a better idea of exactly where your investment portfolio lines up and maybe some areas that you can improve on with it. Feel free to click through that and do the investor assessment there. If you want to have specific questions for me that you'd like to ask me, feel free to DM me or pull up my number on my website. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Thanks again for checking me out.